Welcome, welcome. In this video, I'm going to be showing and breaking down the mistake that 99% of marketers are making inside of their ad account by sharing with you the advanced creative metrics to focus on for each one of your campaigns. So even Joel Kaplan is also making this mistake. So let's dive in. Share my screen here. So a lot of agencies just focus on return on ad spend to determine how their campaigns are performing. And they're just focusing on the outcome, the end destination. And they're not actually focusing on the inputs that make up great advertising campaigns. Now, this is like baking a cake, but ignoring the rest of the ingredients. I mean, how would it work if you were just to take one ingredient and be like, yes, we're just going to make a cake solely of eggs? How appetizing would that be? Now, the inputs that they do focus on, I mean, a lot of media buyers are just looking at the lead costs or the CPMs, and they're not actually looking at what stats to determine how well their creative is performing. And I see this all the time, and especially in the local business space, where I have a friend of mine who's paying like $100 per lead, which is just crazy. And granted, it was profitable, the campaign, but imagine if something's profitable, you're buying apples for $1, but you're only selling them for $2, but you could be selling those apples for $10. I mean, how much of a game changer would that be? So that's exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you guys in this video. Now, looking at some studies from market leaders in our industry, Nielsen showed that 47% of the sales from a campaign is from the creative. Now, Facebook's own internal studies show that 70% of a campaign success is a result of the creative. So how is it that we can actually understand and look at how our creative is performing? And how did I figure this out? Well, in our last agency, when we were running campaigns to acquire listings for our realtor clients, we could not figure out how to get around the high lead costs and high CPMs, let alone the fact that we were selling a commoditized service, the service of a realtor. And we were spending $1 million a month for perspective. Now, it was just this constant of us like beating our head against the wall, trying to figure out, okay, how is it that we can reduce our lead costs and the CPMs? I mean, could we change our targeting? So you see here, I mean, targeting is only 9% of the campaign. So obviously that didn't work. Our strength was not in brand building. So that, even if it was only 15%. And the actual reach of who it is, the spend that we were doing was 2% of it. And so that had a small impact, but it did not have the biggest impact. So what we had done is we started to look at outside examples of how to crack this code. Now, I want to show you guys a bad example, actually. Mr. Joel Kaplan, Agency Lab. I mean, they've been running this creative for about 2 months. Because I regularly check their ad account to see what it is that they're doing. Now, they're only running 3 other creatives. They're only testing 3 new creatives. Isn't that insane? And I hear why. I'll show you this for perspective. E-commerce example. This company spends Dr. Squatch, I'm sure you've seen their campaigns. They spend anywhere from 100 to 400K per month. They probably even more at this point. This was last time I was aware of this. This was about 6 months ago. So they're probably spending more. And they were only running 400 creatives 6 months ago. Now they're running 2,300. So if you compare that to this, like this is what the big dogs are doing. This is how much creatives that they're testing. This is because they understand how important the creative is in the success of the campaign. So if we look at another example that's more relevant to the agency space, let's look at Gym Watch. They have 200. They have 200 different types. You see, so these they launched in October and they're still running. Shows how profitable these campaigns are. I mean, if something's running for over a month, you can assume that it's profitable. But back to Agency Lab. I mean, they've been running this since November, which is good. It shows that it's been profitable for 2 months, but at the same time, how much more profitable could it be? It's like, okay, we're reselling the apples for $2, but what if we transform this apple into a dessert that lets us sell it for $10? Now, if you guys are getting tired of the apple analogies, because I got them all day, let me know in the comments. So what are the actual metrics that we focus on to say, okay, this creative is performing, this creative from November of last year is doing well? Well, let me show you the advanced metrics to focus on for each result in the campaign. Now, everybody has heard of ADA. It's attention, interest, desire, and action. Each one of these are pretty self-explanatory. If you'd like me to go over them, or if you want to understand them better, look them up. This is more of an advanced video. So how is it that we actually capture the attention or measure how it is that we're capturing the attention of our creatives? Well, how many people are actually stopping to view it? Now, this is also called the stop rate or the thumb stop rate. The best way to measure this is to take the number of 3-second watch time and then divide it by the number of impressions. So, and I'll stay tuned and I'll break down exactly what not good looks like, what good looks like, what excellent looks like, and then what exceptional looks like. Now, the interest is the average video watch time. Desire is the outbound click-through rate. How many people are actually, once they click through it, are going through the lead form to the next step of the sales or marketing process. And then action, this varies based on each individual industry. For example, e-commerce, you wouldn't measure how many people are booking a sales meeting or what the meeting book rate is. It just wouldn't make sense. I mean, in SaaS, you might look at sign-ups, but in lead gen or services, we look at how many people actually book a meeting. Now, here are the metrics in further detail. Now, the stop rate itself is really important because, as Hormozi talks about in his book, $100 million leads, the hook or the headline of how many people are actually stopping and how many people are actually capturing their attention is 80% of the ad. So this metric is super important, where the stop rate is, say, under 30% is not very good, 30 to 40% is okay, 40 to 50% is excellent, and then above 50% is exceptional. So if you like this document, go ahead, submit your info, click on the link in the description for the free training. I'll also send you over a 44-page doc, but a 44-page free training in addition to the 30 minutes of free training that's in that. But if you want this document, go ahead, submit your info, and I'll text it.